This is a story of one of the most mysterious characters to appear in the early days of the West. He was a fabulous individual, a man whose presence brought fear to the lawless and hope to those who wanted to make this frontier land their home. He was known as the Lone Ranger. For months now, the Wells Fargo Company has been plagued by stagecoach holdups. One for every cross you see. Only in Boone County does Wells Fargo have a perfect record of no successful holdups. And that's because the stage line franchise there is held by one of the most remarkable women of the Old West, Cannonball McKay.
Yeah, get along there. Oh, boys.
Wait a minute, Cannonball. I'll help you.
That's all right, Clem. I can manage.
Soft-spoken, hard-driving, sharp shooting. She had always been respected as the most honest stage driver in all Boone County, until Clem Jones came to work for her. Friendless, half-crippled, only 2 weeks out of prison. Why has Cannonball just taken him in as her assistant? That's one of the answers the Lone Ranger and Tonto are here to find out.
I'm going into town to see my old friend Marshal Hanley. I'll see you in camp later.
He'll be waiting for you, Savvy.
Bye, Silver.
Got you that time.
You sure did. Come on in. Howdy, Marshal.
Jim, he's masked.
Sure, he's masked. This is the Lone Ranger. Meet Doc Tate. Glad to know you, Doctor. Well, what brings you here? I'm curious about Cannonball McKay and Clem Jones.
Reckon nobody knows much about them, friend. Not even me. And I'm Clem's doctor.
Oh? Something wrong with him?
Poor old fella has a bad arm. Heard it years ago in that stagecoach holdup that sent him to jail.
I see. But if Cannonball's as honest as they say, why should she take in an ex-convict as a partner?
That's something we'd all like to know, but Cannonball won't talk.
Marshal, I'd like a closer look at those two.
That's easy enough arranged. The stage is due in any minute now. Come along.
Fine.
I gotta shove on to Rushville in 10 minutes.
You're not shoving on to anywhere, Cannonball.
What do you mean? My contract with Wells Fargo's still good. I'm pulling out of here on schedule.
No, you're not. Wells Fargo's not going to lose any shipments if I can help it.
Well, I never lost him a shipment of gold yet, have I?
No. But you never had a crook working for you, up till now.
Nobody's going to call me a crook again.
Oh, no?
Pull that trigger at Clem Collins and it'll be the last shot you'll ever fire.
Put up your gun.
You better do like he says. This masked man's a friend of mine, and he can outshoot even you, Cannonball.
What's the ruckus, Cannonball? Me and Hash are just squabbling clean over in our cafe.
Hey, who's the masked hombre?
I'm in the same business as the Marshal. I try to keep law and order.
That's right, boys.
Now, Cannonball, supposing you tell me why you drew your gun.
I had to, mister. This varmint was calling my helper a crook.
Everybody knows he just did 10 years in the pen for holding up a stagecoach.
Look, Collins, I hire who I want. Clem's a friend of mine. He's served his time, and I know he's reformed. Hasn't he been punished enough? Losing all those years, getting his arm crippled.
No jailbird's going to haul freight for Wells Fargo. You're out of business, Cannonball, as of now.
Hold on, Collins. You're forgetting about Cannonball's contract.
Read that contract. It says I got the right to hold up shipments anytime I think there's danger involved. I'm holding them all up till I get word from the head office.
It's not fair you should take it out on Cannonball just because you hate me. If it weren't for this arm, I'd whop the hide off of you.
Come on, Clem.
I'll see you after a while, Marshal. I have some business to take care of.
Doc, you look worried.
I sure hope Cannonball's right about Clem's reforming.
What do you mean?
I'm thinking of that monthly gold shipment in the Wells Fargo office. With the stage not running, it stays right there, with no one to guard it but Collins. Sure could be mighty tempting to an old hold-up man like Clem.
Well, don't worry about it. If Clem starts acting up, I think the Lone Ranger and I can handle him all right. I'll see you later.
What you
learn, Kemosabe?
Practically nothing, Tonto. Yet I still think my hunch is right. Why should this be the only town in the territory that hasn't been robbed? Unless the robbers live here and don't want to throw any suspicion on themselves.
You think maybe that Clem fellow robber?
No, it couldn't be Clem. He'd been in jail until recently.
Then maybe Cannonball.
Maybe. But Cannonball doesn't act like a crook. No one who'd fight to protect old Clem the way she did could really be bad.
Maybe that just put-up job, throw you off track.
I don't know, Tonto. You ride into town. Keep your eye on Cannonball and Clem. Whoever's behind these robberies is dangerous and very clever. We've got to find out who it is at any cost. You go ahead.
Huh.
Clem! Oh, Clem!
Hi, Doc. Want me for something?
Just thought you might like to earn $10. I got to get this letter to Rushville right away, and with the stage not running, there's no way to send it.
$10? I didn't think there was anyone in this town who'd trust me with that much money.
I'm on your side, Clem. If you take the road through Hidden Valley, it'll take you but a few hours.
Thanks, Doc. You're a nice guy.
What do you want, Doc? The office is closed today. Heard you were took sick, so I came right over. What is this? Who told you that? I'm feeling fine.
You won't be for long.
Wait a minute. I don't get it.
Open that safe. Quick!
You mean you're the one that's been pulling all them holdups?
Who else would be smart enough to?
You heard what he said. Open the safe.
Sure. Anything you say. What do you know? Old Doc Tate, the leader of a holdup gang.
Quick, Ash. On your horse. Now we got you dressed like Clem. Try to act like him. Remember, you got a stiff arm.
Just like you say, Doc.
Be sure the marshal sees you heading for Hidden Valley. That's where I sent Clem.
Who fired that shot?
Somebody run out of the express office. Looks like Clem Jones.
He's heading for Hidden Valley, Marshal. It's Collins, Marshal. He's dead.
He got away with all the gold. Let's go after him, and he can't get far.
Like taking candy from a baby.
Some candy.
Clem, you're going back to town.
What for? I didn't do anything. I was
Save
just...
your voice. We're holding you for the murder of Jim Collins.
Murder?
That's right. You'll have a chance to explain back at the Wells Fargo office. Get going.
follow Clem into plenty trouble, Kimosabe. Him arrested for murder.
Murder?
Ah. Marshal think him kill Collins, but him not guilty.
Where's Clem now, Tonto?
Marshal and posse take him to express office.
We'll ride into town. You can tell me the details on the way. Come on.
Over there, Clem. Sit down. All right, where's the gold?
What gold?
The gold you stole from this office just a little while ago.
I didn't steal any gold.
No, and I don't suppose you killed Collins either.
But I wasn't here.
Don't lie, Clem. I heard you threaten him this morning, and we all saw you run out of this office right after the shooting.
I don't know what you're talking about. I was just delivering this here letter to Rushville for Doc Tate.
That right, Kimosabe. Me see Doc give him letter.
Well, now I know you're lying, Clem. This letter's addressed to the Second National Bank. There isn't any Second National Bank in Rushville.
What's the matter here, Marshal? Hash and Portney told me about Clem killing Collins. I just took his body over to the undertaker. Anything else I can do?
Yeah, I'm glad you got here, Doc. Clem says you gave him this letter to deliver.
Why, Clem, whatever made you want to tell a lie like that?
That no lie. Me tell.
Wait.
Tell him the truth, Doc. You give me $10 to deliver that letter.
No, Clem. Would I pay you $10 to deliver a letter with nothing written on it?
So that's it. You framed me so you could steal the gold yourself. Well, I'll get you.
Let's put a rope around his neck, Marshal.
Yeah, that'll make him tell us where the gold's hid.
Hold it. You're not putting any rope around Clem's neck. Come as soon as I heard you were arrested, Clem. I know you never killed Collins.
That isn't what the evidence says, Cannonball, and I'm taking him to jail.
When everybody's already made up their mind he's guilty, he won't be safe there a minute.
Don't worry, I'm not aiming to keep him there. It's too late to leave now, but you hitch up your stage in the morning and we'll drive him to Rushville. That way, he'll get a fair trial.
All right, Marshal. But if anyone harms Clem, you'll have me to reckon with.
I'm locking my prisoner up, and I don't want any trouble.
Come here, Porky. We gotta finish Clem off before he gets that fair trial the marshal was talking about.
Why, Doc? He's got no way of proving he's innocent.
Maybe not. But that masked hombre who came to town this morning, I don't like the way he sniffs out the truth. Hash, reckon you could plant blasting powder under the jail without the marshal catching you?
Sure, Doc, but I'll have to go up to the shack to get it.
How long will it take?
Hour and a half.
All right. Set it to go off 2 hours from now. 5 p.m. sharp. Let's go.
Why you not let me help Clem by telling truth?
Because it would be just your word against Doc's, Tonto. The only way to prove Doc's guilty is to find out where he's hidden that gold.
How we make him talk?
By outsmarting him. We don't have much time. It's a terrible trap Doc's setting for Clem. I wonder what would happen if he got caught in it himself. That's a deadly weapon, Cannonball.
What do you want?
Same thing you do, to help Clem. Cannonball, the men who framed Clem are planning to kill him before we can prove he's innocent.
I figured as much. That's why I'm loading this.
You think that's the best way?
It's the only way. Those hombres don't care nothing about law and order, but they got a lot of respect for lead when it's coming at them.
You won't solve anything by stooping to their methods.
What am I supposed to do then? Wait till they murder Clem, like they did Collins?
I have a plan I think will prevent that. I'm on my way to see Doc Tate now. Do you suppose you could persuade Porky Wade to be at the marshal's office right away?
I reckon so. Why?
Because he and Doc think Hash is going to blow the jail up at 5 o'clock. Now, what they don't know is this. My friend Tonto will be under the jail, not Hash. What's the trouble, Marshal? The masked man said you wanted to see me right away.
Oh, yes. Sit down, Doc. We just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Get in there.
Porky. What's the meaning of this, Marshal? Forcing law-abiding citizens to come here at the point of a gun.
From what the Lone Ranger's been telling me, I'm not sure anymore just who is law-abiding and who isn't.
If you're not, Marshal, you're the only man in town who's confused. Now, what about those questions you wanted to ask me?
Sure, Doc, right away. Just let me fill out this report first. Nothing like taking plenty of time and doing things right, is there?
See here, Marshal. You were in a big enough hurry to get us over here. Let's get to those questions.
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting. Suppose you do the asking.
There are just two questions. Who murdered Collins and where's the gold hidden?
Seems to me Clem's the one to answer that.
No, Doc. You are.
Me? There's no evidence against me.
Maybe not. But I have reasons to believe you're guilty. I'm going to prove it if we have to stay here and question you all night.
All night?
Why so interested in the clock, Porky? You've been watching it for the last 20 minutes.
No reason.
Doc, what I want to know is this.
You're not moving.
What is this, Injun?
Put up hands.
Sure. Whatever you say. Nosy Injun. Now you can get the same as Clem and the Marshal.
You've been asking the same question over and over, and you still haven't got a thing against me. I demand to be released.
What's your hurry, Doc? We've only just begun. Tell me once again, where were you when Collins was shot?
I've already told you. In my office.
Look, Doc, it's nearly 5. We got to get out of here. Fella, I'm not going to stay here and die. If you don't tell him, I will.
Tell us what, Doc?
Blasting powder. Under the jail. It's set to go at 5 o'clock.
You must have had a good reason for wanting to blow up the jail and kill Clem.
Don't waste time talking. We got to get out.
My friends and I will. But you and Porky will stay right here, unless you prefer to tell the truth.
I've told you the truth. There's nothing else.
All right, Marshal. Lock them up.
Inside, you two. Come on, let's go. Come on out.
Well, Marshal, it looks like those two rather stay here and die than tell the truth. We better get out of here before it's too late.
Wait! Wait! I'll talk. Oh, no, you won't. Freaks! All of you!
This bag carries more than medicine, mister.
So I see.
Unlock this cell, Marshal.
I'm afraid he's got us.
All he's got is a gun, Marshal. You have the key. That's worth a lot more as long as that clock keeps ticking.
Are you crazy? Don't you realize we'll all be blown to Kingdom Come in another minute?
That's right, unless you talk first.
I'll never talk. You'll die with me. What's that noise?
You ought to know, Doc. Didn't you tell someone to plant blasting powder under the jail?
Hush! Hush! Don't light the fuse. It's me, Porky!
You can't hear you, Porky. This jail's built solid.
Get us out of here. Get us out!
Not until you tell us the truth.
All right. I'll tell. It was Porky killed Collins.
That's a lie! It was Duck, and the gold's hid in his medicine cabinet.
You fool. Now you've given them proof. Look out!
Woo! Cannonball's been shot.
A bullet wound in the hand is hardly fatal. Better get that glove off, Marshal.
Hey, here, gun. You all right, Kimasabi?
Yes, Tonto. Where's Hash?
Him tied up outside. You have close call. Jail almost blew up on time.
Why, that's a wedding ring. I didn't know you were married, Cannonball. Who's your husband?
Clem is, Marshal. And he's the best husband a woman ever had.
Cannonball, you promised not to tell.
It's better this way, Clem, honey. I'm not ashamed of being married to you.
Why did you keep it a secret, Cannonball?
Clem made me a promise, mister. He said that I'd be hurt bad enough having him work for me. He said if the folks here knew I was married to him, they'd never have nothing to do with me again.
That was foolish of you, Clem. If Cannonball's friends turned against her because of you, why, they wouldn't be worth having.
I reckon you're right, friend. You hurry up and get well, Cannonball, and then we'll face them all together.
I think you'll find out from now on that most of them will be on your side.
Dad, burn it, these new petticoats itch something fierce. Wished I was still wearing my old duds.
Say, I plumb forgot what a pretty female you was when you dressed up proper. Kiss me, woman.
In front of all them horses? What do you think I am, a sissy? If anybody deserves a kiss, it's those two. Tonto and the Lone Ranger.
This is a story of one of the most mysterious characters to appear in the early days of the West. He was a fabulous individual, a man whose presence brought fear to the lawless and hope to those who wanted to make this frontier land their home. He was known as the Lone Ranger.
Well, Tonto, the ranch hasn't changed a bit.
No, Kemosabe.
I'll be anxious to see our old friend, Joe Crawford.
Ranch cook Tom make best coffee in the country.
Hello? Anybody there? Tom? Tom Peters.
What do you want?
Howdy. We're looking for Mr. Crawford. He's no friend of ours.
He's not here. He's sold out. The new owner doesn't like strangers trespassing, especially anyone who wears a mask.
Get going.
Well, when did Joe sell this place?
I'm not answering any questions. Get.
Mind telling us where he moved to?
Garvin told you we're not getting paid to answer questions.
Hey, what's this? A masked man and an Indian? What are you on?
We look for...
We told you Joe Crawford isn't here. Get back to your cook stove, Tom.
Yes, and I'm getting mighty curious about that mask, too.
You're not the first one.
Boy, am I glad to see you. Come on inside. Have a cup of coffee?
Thanks, Tom.
You sit right down there.
What's going on around here, Tom?
Well, sir, I don't know. Except that Mr. Crawford rode off about a week ago heading for Leesville. Said he had some business to take care of. You know, I ain't seen hide or hair of him since.
What about him selling this place?
Oh, that ain't so. Why, he wouldn't sell this place without telling me something about it. I've been with him ever since his daughter Molly was born.
Who two men we talked to?
A couple of gunslingers, if you're asking me. Claim that they're working for the new owner. They tried to drive me off of the place, too. But I ain't a-leaving. No, sir. Not until the boss tells me what's what.
Now, hold on, Tom. Shooting isn't a way to settle this. Did Joe tell you what he was going to town for?
No. All he said was, I'll be back by the time my daughter Molly comes from boarding school.
Oh, when's that?
Well, let me see. Say, that's today.
Him waiting Leesville. Bring daughter home from stage office.
Well, maybe so. But it's darn funny that he didn't send me some sort of a message.
Well, we'll wait until Joe gets back.
Father! Tom!
It's Miss Molly.
Who's that with her?
Hendo Brown. He's the feller who said he bought this place.
Me see him Leesville. Him play cards in saloon.
Don't say anything about us being here.
Right.
Tom! Tom, it's nice to see you.
And look at you, Miss Molly. Why, you're even prettier than you was last year.
I expected Father to meet me in Leesville. Mr. Brown said he'd probably be home. Father! Father, it's me.
He's not here, Miss Molly.
But I don't understand. And Mr. Brown says Father sold the place to him.
Well, I don't know any more about it than you do, but I don't believe it.
We'll do much better without your opinions, Tom. Everything's in order, Miss Molly. Here's a triplicate copy of the bill of sale signed by your father.
Let me see that.
That belongs to Miss Crawford.
Well, I can read it, can't I? Don't you worry about a thing. I'm going to see what this is all about.
I'm sorry to rush you, but I'll want to move in shortly.
Well, you won't do it, because we're not going to move until Joe Crawford comes back and tells us to leave.
I suggest you keep quiet, Tom. It's unfortunate that your father never wrote you about this.
I'm telling you...
Please, Tom. As soon as I freshen up, we'll go into town and try to locate Father. Something must have delayed him.
Well, in the meantime, Miss Molly, I hope we won't have any trouble about this.
There won't be any trouble, Mr. Brown.
You can pack your things, too. I was considering keeping...
You don't have to consider any longer, because I just quit 5 minutes ago.
Tom.
Oh, there you are. That polecat. Here, take a look at this. Now, you know Joe's handwriting, don't you? Did he put his name on it?
Yes, that's Joe's signature, all right.
And it could be that this Jasper ain't lying after all.
You think that paper legal?
Looks legal to me. Tonto, you ride over to Leesville. See if you can find Joe.
Me go.
Tonto, if he's no place around, find out who saw him last. Meet me at our camp.
You know, this beats anything I've ever seen.
What do you know about this Pinto Brown?
Well, not much, except he hangs around Leesville, does a little gambling.
Has he ever been over here to look the property over?
No, he ain't. And if he had been, I'd have seen him. Or at least why Joe would have told me about it.
I agree with you, Tom. It doesn't make sense, Joe selling this place. Why, his daughter Molly was born here.
Yeah, and his wife's buried right over there in that grove. Oh, no. He wouldn't have sold this place.
Is it possible Joe had some money trouble you knew nothing about?
Why, no. I know as much about his affairs as he does.
We'll have to be careful, Tom. This whole thing may be perfectly legal.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'll keep this bill of sale for the time being. I'll see you later.
Nobody in Leesville see Joe since more than a week.
And he didn't sign that bill of sale in Leesville. It was dated just 4 days ago.
How we find him, Kimosabe?
He still may be on his own ranch, alive or dead.
Well, where we look?
We'll try the line cabins first. Let's go.
What we do now?
There's one more cabin over to the south.
We look in 3 cabins already. We find spider and plenty dust.
You're right. Tonto, look. Near the rock. Someone's been digging. On, Silver.
Look like brave.
We'll soon find out. This rock contains gold. Joe Crawford's bar C brand on these tools.
Now we know why Brown want ranch. Him want gold.
Right, Tonto. We'll look at that south line cabin now. Come on. Three people had a meal here not long ago.
Them live here, too.
Yes, but only 2 sleep here.
That must be 2 men who work for Pinto Brown.
Keep watch outside, Tonto. I wouldn't want to be caught here.
What'd you find, Kimosabe?
A letter from Joe Crawford, dated yesterday. It's to old Tom. Listen to this. Dear Tom, I was aiming to surprise you and Molly, but I got mixed up in something. I can't get home for a couple of weeks. Meet Molly at the stage for me. Tell her I'm feeling fine and don't worry. Your old friend, Joe Crawford.
How'll let her get here?
I don't know, Tonto. But one thing is certain. Tom never received this letter.
Why somebody steal it?
Well, that's what puzzles me. But at least it proves Joe was alive 24 hours ago.
Let her not say him sell ranch.
No, but I'm sure he's in some serious trouble. It seems that Mr. Brown was the last known person to have talked to Joe. Let's call on him at Leesville. Brown and the town marshal. That saves us a long ride.
Them headed to ranch house.
Come on, Tonto.
Please, Tom, put away that gun.
Now, we're not going to leave here.
I'm going to town. Come along with me.
Now, look, we don't have to, because I got a couple of friends that's going to help us out.
Friends?
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, all right.
Come in.
Howdy, Miss Molly.
It's nice seeing you again, Marshal.
Nice seeing you, too. I wish we were under happier circumstances. Well, I've known you and your father for years, and I have a very unpleasant duty to perform. I have to serve you with an eviction notice. Mr. Brown here wants to take possession at once.
Now? Before I even see my father?
Right? Well, where'll she go?
I'm sure I don't know. I'm sorry about this, but my plans have been suddenly changed.
Now, nobody can tell me that Joe sold him this place, and we're not getting off.
According to law, Miss Molly, you've been served.
If you're not gone from here in 24 hours, he'll have to come back and forcibly evict you.
I wish there was something I could do.
Well, we're not leaving. And as for you, you ornery varmint.
Hold it, Tom.
Who are you? What business do you have here?
He's a friend of mine.
Friend? Wearing a mask?
It serves a purpose. Mr. Brown, you must admit there's something strange about the sale of this property.
I'll admit nothing. And you'll do well to stay out of this.
Miss Molly, you and Tom stay here another 24 hours.
This sort of thing will get you nowhere, Miss Crawford.
I think I'll let my friends answer that for me.
All right.
Don't worry, Miss Molly. You'll hear from me.
Not the same writing?
J is the same. Long loop. Curlicue on top of the C the same. O's and D's are alike. Looks like Joe Crawford really signed these.
Then maybe Brown buy ranch after all.
I can't believe it. Yet here it is. Signed exactly the... Wait a minute. They're too much alike. No man signs his name exactly the same twice. Every line, every shading is alike. One's been traced over the other.
Then Joe not signed bill of sale. Maybe Brown tried to kill him.
According to this letter, he was alive 2 days ago. And that's after this bill of sale was signed.
Him someplace where he could mail letter. We not know where.
Pinto Brown knows. He kept Tom from receiving this letter.
You think Brown tried to kill Crawford?
He has to, Tonto, to protect himself. He forged his name to this bill of sale.
What we do?
We've got to get to Joe before Brown does.
Where we look?
Well, let Mr. Brown tell us that.
Him not talk to you, Kimasabi.
He won't know he's talking to me, Tonto, in my disguise.
Howdy, boys.
It's about time you got here.
Now, what do you want?
Action. We're tired of holding up in this dirty shack and eating rotten food.
We don't like the idea of that masked man mixing into the sealer.
Ah, forget it. You'll be sleeping in the bar seat bunkhouse tomorrow night.
You should have let us take care of Crawford as soon as you filed that deed.
It wasn't necessary. What can he do? I've got his signature on the sale papers. Besides, I don't especially care for murder.
Well, it would look kind of bad, him dropping out of sight right after he sold his place.
Certainly.
I'll take care of this.
Oh!
Where do you think you're going?
None of your business, young feller.
You're on private property. Get.
Sure, I'll be leaving. But I'm looking for a man named Tom Peters.
What about him?
What about him? Nothing. I just got a letter for him.
Oh, Tom Peters. Oh, why didn't you say so? He's inside. I'll give it to him.
Oh, no, you don't. I keep my promises. I'm supposed to give this to Tom Peters himself. And that's what I aim to do.
Well, all right, come on. Mr. Peters, this old man has a message for you.
You Tom Peters?
Yes. If you have a letter for me, give it to me.
Sure. Well, did what I was supposed to do. Guess I'll be leaving.
Hold it. Where'd you get this?
Oh, fella down the road a piece gave it to me. I got paid for it, too.
What'd he look like?
Oh, not too thin and not too fat. Say, you ought to know who he is. He writ to you.
Get him out of here.
Well, who's writing to old Tom?
Joe Crawford. It's a good thing we caught it. What's he say? Listen. Dear Tom, I'll be getting home sooner than I told you in my last letter. I'm leaving here today. I've been tricked. Give my love to Molly. Joe Crawford.
Leaving today? How can he?
That's what we're going to find out.
Kimosabe, you fooled him? Yes, Tonto. Even Mr. Brown himself. We'll head for Needle Rock as soon as I get rid of this disguise.
All right, this is the pass. Now you get up above, and if I miss him in town, you get him here. And hide the body.
Kind of changed your mind about killing, eh?
Circumstances changed my mind. We're too close to possession of that property to let anything interfere with our plans.
Don't worry. You won't get by us.
Brown's going on alone.
Look like him left other two men for ambush. Him not take road to Leesville.
No, he's taking the road to Silver Gulch. Let's go.
Hello, Sheriff.
Well, hello, Mr. Brown.
Just passing through Silver Gulch, thought I'd stop in and ask about Crawford.
What about him? He's in his cell.
Well, I understand you're letting him out today, before his 10 days are up.
No, he'll sit it out in there all right. He created quite a ruckus over in Murphy's saloon.
He wrecked the place.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sheriff.
Don't let him get out of town.
No, he stay here, watch his horse.
Who are you?
Friend of Joe Crawford's.
Do many of Joe's friends wear masks? I think you'd better explain, mister.
Take me to Joe Crawford and you'll understand, Sheriff.
Right through that door. Hey, Joe, wake up. Jan here says he's a friend of yours.
Hello, Joe.
Well, he certainly is. I'm never so glad to see anybody in my life. Now maybe I can get out of here.
Supposing you calm down, Joe. Let me hear your side of the story.
Well, I come over here to Silver Gulch on the quiet about a week ago. Brought a sample of ore for assay. We don't have any assay offices in Leesville.
We had a good report on it and went out celebrating. Is that right?
Pretty close, only I didn't get to celebrate. We went over to Murphy's saloon.
We?
Yeah.
Well, who's the other party?
The assayer. Eh? He was a friendly sort of a cuss. Seemed tickled at my good luck.
Yes, I bet he was. Who else was in the saloon?
Oh, a slew of folks I never saw. And this Pinto Brown critter. I've seen him around Leesville, but I never liked his cut.
So you pulled a gun on him?
I've been telling you over and over. I never even spoke to the lion skunk.
Go ahead with your story, Joe.
Well, I just sat down to eat when wham, something hit me over the head, and I come to here.
Murphy and Brown said he picked a fight with Brown, smashed up the saloon and had to be laid out cold. The assayer backed them up.
Need a little frame-up all the way, Sheriff.
Might have been at that.
But why?
Because Pinto Brown says you sold him the Bar C Ranch.
That's a lie. Wait till I get my hands on that mangy coyote. Sheriff, you gotta let me out of here so I can find Brown.
No need of that, Joe.
Sheriff, what is this? The masked man.
What's this lie about me selling you my ranch?
I have your signature on the bill of sale.
You have not?
Yes, he has, Joe. But you didn't sign it. Brown, you stole the signatures from a letter Joe wrote old Tom. You're planning to kill Crawford.
Don't be insane. Just because I make a good buy from a crazy rancher.
You thief.
Hold on, Joe. There's another way of settling this.
Sheriff, I demand that you arrest these two bandits.
This murder business. That's a pretty serious charge, mister.
We can make it stick, Sheriff. Brown, you took a letter from an old man yesterday.
How did you know?
Huh. Your name, Tom Peters?
Well, that was you.
That's right, Brown. The letter told you Crawford was coming home sooner than you expected. But you came here just to make sure. But you didn't take any chances. You left an ambush back on the trail at Needle Rock, just in case Joe had already left for home.
An ambush? What about that, Brown?
Oh, it's a plain lie. Take a posse out there and find out.
Not a posse, Sheriff. A party led by Mr. Brown.
I'm perfectly willing to waste the time just to put an end to this.
We'll try that.
Just one more thing, Sheriff. Have Mr. Brown and Mr. Crawford change clothes and horses.
All right, man, start changing clothes.
There's Needle Rock, Brown. You go on alone.
Here comes Crawford. Wait a minute. Let him get a little closer. He's trying to get away.
Come on.
It's the boss.
What are you trying to pull? We came near shooting you for Crawford.
Yeah, I know. The masked man made me change clothes with Crawford and forced me to ride into my own trap.
That's all we need to hear, Brown.
All right, now, get on your horses.
Thanks to our friends, we can celebrate the gold strike on our property.
By the way, Joe, I suggest you do all your celebrating at home.
And not in Murphy's saloon.
Don't worry, Dad. We'll never get out of my sight again.
Nor mine either. And speaking of celebrating, come on in the kitchen. I whipped up a little something.
Fine. Come on, boys.
Why, they're leaving. Dad, Tom said the masked man was a friend, so I accepted him. But who is he?
Ask Tom.
Him? Why, he's the Lone Ranger.
Hail, Silver, away!
This is a story of one of the most mysterious characters to appear in the early days of the West. He was a fabulous individual, a man whose presence brought fear to the lawless and hope to those who wanted to make this frontier land their home. He was known as the Lone Ranger.
Come on, hurry up. Come on. Count out $5,000.
Just 5,000?
Yeah, no more, no less.
There's 5,000. Don't you want?
Now put the rest back. Now come on, get in the closet. Take the box with you. Come on, somebody might steal it.
That fellow was in a big hurry. Kind of funny.
I wonder what he's doing in the Wells Fargo office.
Maybe we better have a look.
Let me out! Help! Help! Let me out!
Over here.
Sheriff, we've been held up.
What do you mean? We got the strong box.
Full of money.
Well, he only took $5,000 to be exact.
Only $5,000?
It was him. That probably was Jim Andrews that just rode away.
He took just $5,000. $5,000 price on his head. That means just one thing. He's headed for Outlaw Town.
Well, if he ever reaches that place, we'll never see him again.
Maybe this is one bad man I can catch before he gets to Outlaw Town.
Breach.
Put your gun away, Thomas. Howdy. We haven't crossed trails in quite a long time.
Sheriff Wayne, looks like you two were in a hurry.
Sure was. But I guess he gave me the slip. He had too much of a lead on me.
Maybe you saw him, mister. He just held up a Wells Fargo office.
Yeah, name's Andrews.
Andrews? Jim Andrews?
Yeah. Well, then you did see him?
Yes. I caught a glimpse of some fellow pounding leather.
We might as well go home. He's well inside Outlaw Town by now.
I think I can capture him for you.
What? Were you on your way to that place?
Yes. It's been a disgrace to the county long enough. Oh, I know it's not your fault, Sheriff.
Well, we don't have any authority in that town. It belongs to a man by the name of Jack Burke.
The whole place is private property. He even hires his own constables.
Wanted men and outlaws have been hiding there for some time.
They sure have. Now, take this Andrews I was chasing. He escaped from state's prison about a week ago. He'll be welcome in Burke's community. I'll tell you, we'll ride in with you.
No, you're too well known.
Yeah, I know, but...
Sheriff, we can reestablish law and order and get rid of that place once and for all. If you listen to a plan, I think will work.
Well, I don't know. It's pretty dangerous for you, but I got an idea. You're the cure Outlaw Town needs.
You and your deputy go back to town. Tonto here will get in touch with you later. Adios.
Are you back again?
Yeah, and this time I'm staying.
I hope you're not wasting any more of Burke's time. Go on.
Where's Burke?
In his office.
Say, I got it. Howdy, Mrs. Burke.
Jim. So you came back.
Well, Andrews?
I can pay my way now. Here it is, $5,000.
Where'd you get it?
What difference does it make? Can I stay?
Yes, you can stay.
Thanks, Mr. Burke.
You know all my rules.
Yes, sir.
That'll be all, Andrews. I'll send for you when something comes up.
Jack, don't you think
That's
that...
enough, Edith.
But surely there are others. He's so young.
This boy has brains and nerve. He came here without any money, and I wouldn't take him in. So he went out and got the $5,000 rather than quit. Why this sudden sympathy for Andrews?
You wouldn't understand.
Wouldn't I? I told you before, I'm telling you again. Don't meddle in my business affairs. And don't get any silly ideas about running away again. You wouldn't do that, would you?
No. Your constable seems to have an uncanny way of finding people.
We don't want any more trouble between us, do we?
Keep a lookout for Outlaw Town.
Yes. I'm going in, Tonto. Try to get into town without him seeing you.
Yes, Kimasabi. Me meet you inside.
Hold it there, mister.
I want to see Jack Burke.
All right, go ahead. Somebody will be waiting for you.
We have a visitor.
Look, he's wearing a mask.
Keep me covered. I'll take care of this. Looking for a friend of yours, mister?
Not exactly a friend. I'm looking for Jack Burke.
Inside.
Sure.
Go in the other room, Edith. I have some business to discuss.
I'm Jack Burke. What can I do for you?
I want to stay in your town for a while.
Got any money?
How much do I need?
That depends upon how much you're worth. Dead or alive.
Why?
I sell insurance.
Insurance?
If you wanted for a robbery, $5,000 reward, dead or alive, you pay me the $5,000 in cash.
What do I get for it?
Protection from the law, good place to hole up, and men to work with you when needed.
Not bad. Any other conditions?
Several. Number one, I get half of everything you take. Number two, once you've joined, you don't leave town without seeing me first.
And number three?
I get paid in advance. What's the price on you?
I haven't seen my posters yet. This ought to do for the time being. $5,000.
5,000, huh? Well, that'll do for now. How did you happen to come to my town?
I knew I could hold up here for the time being. I'm planning something big. I'll need some men for the job.
Well, you've come to the right place, but I'll need to know more about your plans.
Wells Fargo ships considerable gold from Canyon City to Watkinsville.
That's all flat country through there. No place for an ambush.
I know of a certain big shipment they're sending by the way of Flat Rock Pass.
Yes, you could stop a wagon there. When did you want to acquire that gold?
Oh, maybe tomorrow.
I think I can supply the men you need. We'll talk about it later. Where did you operate last? I never heard of you before.
Lots of places. You'll hear a lot about me before long.
He's one of us now, Constable. Give him a bunk and show him where to stable his horse.
Thanks.
Stable's over there, and I'll show you to your bunk later.
Good enough.
George. Ride over to Canyon City. See what you can find out about the Wells Fargo Company sending a shipment of gold through Flat Rock Pass.
All right, boss.
Oh, howdy, Mrs. Burke.
Jim, come inside. I want to talk to you. Sit down, Jim. Jim, you must leave this place.
Why, Mrs. Burke?
Think of the disgrace you'll bring on your family.
I have no family. My father and mother were killed when our shack burned down. That left me without a thing.
Well, surely you could find work someplace.
Nothing that paid enough to support a wife.
You're married?
Well, I was gonna get married when I got back from that trail herd job. If they hadn't been rustlers, I'd have made enough to start a little home with Ruth.
What became of Ruth?
She came to visit me often while I was in prison. Said she'd wait for me.
Then why did you escape?
Because I knew it would take years to get started again. I talked to a man in prison that knew about your husband,
And so you decided to come here and make a lot of crooked money quickly.
That's about it, Mrs. Burke. Besides, it wouldn't be fair to Ruth to keep her waiting.
The fairest thing you could do for Ruth is to get out of here and go straight.
Maybe if I'd talked to you before, well, things could have been different. But now,
Jim, I'll help you get the money back from Jack. Run away from this place and forget all about it.
Even if I decided to do that, Mrs. Burke, I couldn't. Nobody walks out on your husband alive.
Me find way in town. Climb rocks. No one see Tonto.
Good. Our plan is working so far.
They go to ambush gold ship in Flat Rock?
Yes. You ride to Sheriff Wayne. Tell him to have his posse hidden there. Burke was impressed with my story about the wagon changing its route. He'll be there tomorrow with his entire gang.
You see outlaw Jim Andrews?
Yes. He'll be on the job.
No, he won't. So, you're lawmen. You planned a trap for my husband and his men.
I'm sorry you overheard that, Mrs. Burke.
Why?
Because I'll have to stop you from warning your husband.
You wouldn't accomplish anything by that. Jack will have his men looking for me in a very few minutes. I'll make a bargain with you.
A bargain?
Yes. I want you to take a man out of this town for me. See that he never comes back and that he goes straight.
Who is this man?
Jim Andrews.
Andrews? Why are you so interested in him?
Because he's the youngest one that ever came to this place. You see, if Jack and I had a son, he'd be about Jim's age. Then he told me about the girl he was going to marry. I want Jim Andrews to go back, serve out his time, and marry that girl.
I'm not so sure we can help young Andrews. He's determined to be an outlaw.
Perhaps I can get the money back from my husband. You'll see that he returns it to the rightful owner.
I know where the money came from, Mrs. Burke. I intend to see that it gets back there one way or another.
Please, give the boy a chance to return it himself.
Burke will expect Andrews to be at Flat Rock with his gang tomorrow.
Then you must refuse to take him.
And if I don't?
Then I'll tell my husband exactly who you are.
I'll do what I can, Mrs. Burke.
I'm sure you will.
She good woman.
Yes, I believe she is. Tommy, you ride to Sheriff Wayne. Then meet me here in the morning.
Me go.
Where have you been?
Oh, we're just getting acquainted. Why?
I sent a man out to ask you about that gold shipment.
Well?
You had it right.
You don't trust anybody, do you, Mr. Burke?
Not if I can help it. We'll throw in with you tomorrow.
Good. How many men can I have?
Let me see. Myself, the constable, Andrews, Frank, and George. That's 6, counting you.
There'll only be 5. I don't want to take Andrews.
Why not?
Oh, he's too young. Not enough experience.
I don't agree with you.
Sorry, Burke, but I have to give the orders on this job. I know where we're going and how it's to be handled.
Have it your way.
Good.
Last night we ride to Sheriff Wayne.
The sheriff understand our plans.
Yes, Kimosabe. Him have posse waiting in Flat Rock.
We'll be leaving within an hour. There'll be 4 men with me. When you see us ride out, cut across the flats and get to the sheriff as soon as possible.
What do you do with Jim Andrews?
I haven't had a chance to talk with him yet.
You think you can help, boy?
Yes, I do. Before I leave, I'll try to get the money I gave Burke and the money young Andrews paid him.
You let him return money to express office?
I will if he wants to go straight.
That good.
If this works, Tonto, it'll mean the end of Outlaw Town.
It works, Kimosabe.
To do it. Here's your 5,000 and I'll give the other to Jim.
Quick, inside.
Don't reach for your gun, mister. Get a rope.
What's happened?
Our friend couldn't wait for us to complete the deal. He was trying to steal from me.
Hey, what's this?
Don't ask questions. Help tie him up. I'll be right back. Get your hat on.
Why?
We're going to Watkinsville on a shopping trip.
A shopping trip?
Yes, you can get that thread you've been wanting.
But I don't feel equal to such a long ride.
My plans have been changed. Do as I say. And hurry.
This fellow's going to answer some important questions for me.
Don't worry about him, Mr. Burke. He'll never get out of that chair. The buckboard is out front, ready to go.
Good. My wife's going with us.
Mrs. Burke, why?
Not your wife, Jack. She don't fit into ambushing a gold shipment.
We're not going to carry out that ambush.
Well, what are we going to do?
I'll tell you later. Let's get going, Edith. Well, you look like the respectable wife of any respectable businessman. Have you got the thread you want? Let's go. I'm not taking Frank and George with us.
Why? We'll need them.
I'm running this. Frank, go up and stay with the lookout. George, there's a man tied up in my office. I want to find him. I want to get back. We're going to Watkinsville.
Watkinsville? I can't even be seen in that town.
If you're getting yellow, Andrews, now's the time to say so.
Guess it's too late to turn back now.
What'll we do? George says the gold will be in the express office in Watkinsville under light guard. They figure it'll be safe in the middle of town.
Yeah? This should be easy for us.
When we get to town, you two go in the back door of the office. Edith and I will be out front to give the alarm in case anything goes wrong.
Not see you right with others. Come here, quick.
Just in time, Tonto. W.A.T. Watkinsville. That's where they're going.
What do we do with him?
Tie him up while I get Silver.
There are 2 men at lookout.
We'll take care of them on the way out.
Get that Bucks to the express office. Thanks for riding out to Flat Rock with me. Sorry I took you on a wild goose chase.
I sure am glad to get that gold safely into town. I wonder why Burke and his gang didn't show up at the ambush.
I don't know. As soon as we get that shipment out of town by the first stage, we'll ride over to Outlaw Town, see if we can locate the masked man. Jack Burke and his wife. Wait. Something's wrong. Our friend isn't with them. How do, Miss Burke? Howdy, Jack. Haven't seen much you folks around here lately.
Hello, Sheriff. Mrs. Burke wanted to do a little shopping.
You've come to the right place to get whatever you need, Mrs. Burke.
Well, Jack, I hope things have gone down a little in price.
Reach. Hand over that gold ship.
It's in the safe.
All right, get it.
Edith, we'll get those things you wanted.
Just a minute, Jack. Sheriff, is Mrs. Tucker still in town?
Yes, she's got a new baby girl.
No. Well, let me see. Does that make 5 now?
Oh, 6. There's Ruth. Kathy, that makes 6.
Oh. Sheriff, they're robbing the express office. Jack, don't! Don't!
All right, Burke. Back inside.
Well, thanks to you, Jack Burke's notorious community's been wiped out, along with his gang.
Well, Sheriff, I did have some help.
Mrs. Burke, what are you planning to do with Outlaw Town?
Your friend here made a wonderful suggestion.
Yes, what's that?
I'm going to make it a decent place to live in. When Jim gets out, he promised to meet me there with a girl he's going to marry. I'm going to give him a good job.
Mrs. Burke, I had a long talk with Jim. He's promised to go straight.
Oh, thank you. You will take good care of him, won't you?
We'll be just as easy as possible on the boy.
I can't see. Why, he's leaving. What's his name?
That's the Lone Ranger.
The Lone Ranger.
Hello, Silver! Hello!